The hashtag #MeToo movement, there are incidents all over the place and they're not stopping, okay? Today we're talking about recent stories that have come up about working as an NFL cheerleader. It reveals a very toxic culture that has got to stop. So Anna, why don't you go first on this one? I know.
Well, because I'm the athlete, right? Okay, so if for our viewers who probably don't know about this, NFL cheerleaders have been suing the NFL over unsafe or just unpleasant work conditions. And I'll give you this one incident real quick. So the cheerleaders for the Washington team were taken to another, I think Jamaica or Mexico, for their yearly pictures. They have like a calendar and stuff like that. During this thing, the owner of the team decided to fly down executives from top companies around the U.S. who sponsor his team, and then the cheerleaders had to entertain these guests. And on top of that, cheerleaders are forbidden to have conversations with players on social media. If a player were to come into a restaurant and a cheerleader was there, the cheerleader needs to go. It's all on her to make sure that the guys do not hit on her.
Okay.
And to entertain.
Okay,
yes.
you guys, go ahead, because...
Okay, so the whole thing that happened at the shoot at the Caribbean, very unacceptable. Things have to change. However, I think that if it's in your contract that you cannot have any sort of social conversations or interactions with the players of your team, those exist for a reason. And it could be, you can see it as a form of them having to protect their cheerleaders. Enough things probably happened that they were like, you know what? We need to write this down. They cannot have any communication, the two teams. However, if they're gonna make that part of their contract, the cheerleaders' contract, they have to make that the players' contract as well.
Okay.
It has to be both, and it's not both.
Yeah.
Like the first time that I heard about the NFL cheerleaders was when I read the story on Bailey Davis.
Yep.
She is now an ex-cheerleader from the New Orleans Saints.
Yep.
And she got fired from posting a photo on her social media in a lacy bathing suit.
Yep.
Okay? You know what? What? You don't think that's okay? It was part of the rules. She's not supposed to do that. She did it. And so now she's getting fired, and she is filing a complaint because she's saying that it's gender discrimination.
Okay.
Right? So the NFL has these two sets of rules, one for the cheerleaders, one for the males.
Yeah.
But there are two different jobs. Right?
Yeah.
So I understand that they can be different, but I also think that if you are the face of the brand and there are rules that you have to abide by in order to be the face of the brand, then that's
the job.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, if here at LATV, I have to sign something that says that I can't post bikini photos, then if I am willing to sign that, then I have to respect that.
I agree with everything you just said, but the thing is that what is not happening is that a lot of these, the responsibility always falls on the women. You know, and that's what bothers me about this. I understand, especially in the NFL, there's something called a morality clause that a lot of these people, whether it doesn't matter what you are, if you work for an NFL team, you have to sign a morality clause that you're not going to do things that are immoral.
What immoral?
Yeah. So. But again, everything always falls on the women.
Yeah.
And if something were to go wrong, it's the woman that's going to lose her job. And I understand these players bring in the revenue, and I get why they wouldn't get fired, but it's unfair that it's so skewed on them.
Yes.
Is
And
it
that's
the same
what bothers
way
me.
when there are female players and male cheerleaders? Are all the rules the same?
I don't know. I don't know what it's like for them. Yeah.
Those are called boosters, and they don't have a problem.
But yeah, so I agree. As I said, I think that the rules have to be on both ends, and they have to be equal when it comes to their interaction and all of that.
And we talked about aggregated value. We talked about this idea that the team, the Broncos, I'm not a big sports fan, but they say the Broncos, it's the Broncos playing and winning the game, not the cheerleaders. So we go, oh, well, who is the actual team? But part of me thinks if you are in the community is the community. Right? That doesn't matter if you're the coach or you're the backup player or you're on the bench, right? Everyone's part of that.
Yeah.
So saying that you have kind of laws inside of your community that you have to uphold later, that's every community.
Yeah.
Every community has laws.
You can't expect that if you're the lead role in a movie, the same rules are going to apply to the PA.
No,
for example, right? So some things are different, but when it comes to their social interaction, the both of them, it has to be the same. But we also have to remember that a lot of these rules or these laws were probably put in place to protect them too,
right?
Because it's a sport that it's a profession that has to do with titillation, and it's dangerous.
I understand that, and I agree with you in every single thing you guys saying. But what bothers me is that these rules sometimes are put into place, and it makes men seem like they're predators, that they cannot control themselves. You know what I mean? Why do they have all these rules for women? Because the guys can't control themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Men have to have them too.
They have to have them too, and that's why it's like it's always also looks bad on the guy.
Yeah.
It's not just the women. Like, you cannot control yourself. You're a
Take some
grown man.
responsibility, man.
Yeah.